Al Jazeera's Joy Asadi has been speaking to the spokesperson for the Iranian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Esmail Baghaei. He says Iran is acting in self-defense.
We are facing another unprovoked act of aggression, an egregious act of aggression that is imposed on Iranians. And we have every right, in accordance with international law, with the UN Charter, to defend ourselves with all might. So that's what our armed forces are conducting right now. They are defending national sovereignty and territorial integrity of Iran against this barbaric act of aggression.
All right. We know that the country actually was involved in the trajectory of diplomatic interaction, but with what took place today, can we say that it's a sort of end for hope for the diplomatic track?
That's exactly the point. This is the second time during less than a year that diplomacy was betrayed by Americans. We were negotiating. We were supposed to meet on Monday to talk about technical aspects of any possible deal on nuclear issue. And the Americans themselves acknowledged that these negotiations went quite well. The mediator, Foreign Minister of Oman, qualified this round of negotiations as being of significant progress. But all of a sudden, as you see, the American and Israelis conducted this military aggression against Iran. I would say this is not only a betrayal of diplomacy, this is the betrayal of the trust of the countries of the region. This is the betrayal of the whole UN system, because the main pillar of the UN system, the UN Charter, is the provision of the use of force. And for a second time during the past 9 months, the United States, as a member of the UN Security Council, is launching an act of aggression against another member of the United Nations. So I think what is at stake is not only the security and peace of the region and that of the Iran, but also the whole fabric of international law and the normative system that has been created by the United Nations Charter.
With the escalations ramping up to an unprecedented level, to what extent do you think this confrontation can go for the days and maybe weeks down the road?
We don't know, because you see, as I said, this is something that is imposed on Iran. We never sought war. We were going to resolve this issue diplomatically. And this was the demand of the whole countries of the region and the international community. So this was started by the United States, and we believe that it is just to advance the whims of the Israeli regime. And I think this war would not serve the interests of the American people. This is against their interests, but this is what they chose to do. And I think the consequences would be very dire for everyone. As I already said, just as part of a single attack this morning on a primary school in Minab, more than 61 innocent girls were killed and maimed, and still more than 70 innocent ones are under the rubble.
Previously, we heard from Iran that in case of a U.S. attack, there is a risk for a confrontational scenario down the road in the region. And now we see that the United States bases in the region are being attacked by Iran. And also, there has been widespread condemnation by regional countries who are now coming under attack. My question is, what is Iran's reasoning behind that?
I think they're not really coming under attack by Iran. We have said once and again, and I would like to repeat that we are friendly with all countries of the region. We have proven that we trust our friends in the region. That's why we try to get together with the countries of the region in furtherance of this diplomatic process. The problem is that the United States is conducting this war of aggression at the cost of everyone, including the countries of the region. Under international law, any place, any location, any logistical support that are given to the aggressor are a legitimate target for the victim state. So we are not attacking any country in the region. We are friendly with all countries of the region. What we are doing is just taking defensive actions. We are defending ourselves against attacks by Americans and by the Zionist regime. And as you know, many of these bases, although they are part of the countries of the region's territories, but they are completely controlled by the United States, and they are used, or better to say, abused by the United States in order to launch an act of aggression against another country of the region.
Is it like a credible claim to put forth that in the days ahead we may see a continuation of Iran's attacks to the US bases in the region?
One thing is for sure, we would continue defending ourselves with all force. We are entitled, we are responsible for the safety and security of our people, and we have every right under international law to defend Iran against this act of aggression.
And speaking of the trajectory of, again, diplomatic interaction, have you received or initiated any sort of contact with the mediating parties, including Oman or elsewhere, to settle down the issues under this situation?
This is a serious issue, and I think now the whole situation is different from yesterday. As you know, the mediator was involved in this very difficult process. We appreciate what Oman and other countries of the region and our neighbors did during the past 1 month. They really tried to convince Americans not to take the path of confrontation and bullying, but unfortunately it seems they failed. So what we are doing right now is to focus on defending our national integrity and Iran's territory against these acts of aggression.
The public mood at the time being could be highlighted by a sense of frustration and fear as we speak to people. In this situation, what is Iranian government's response or message to Iranian people?
I think our people understand very clearly that we did whatever we could, whatever was at our disposal to resolve this issue diplomatically. It was not Iran's fault. It is simply an excuse put forward by the Americans. They said 9 months ago that they obliterated Iran's nuclear program. And still they are repeating the same. They are talking about Iran's ballistic missiles. They are talking about some other excuses. They are all big lies put forward to justify this act of aggression. So our people are very clear in their mind that they have to stay strong in the face of this injustice, in the face of this organized military bullying. And I'm sure that at the end of the day, the Iranians will come out of this challenge victoriously.